Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Women Who Rock with Success, a digital media source for professional and entrepreneurial women. Did you know that we can be found on Google Play, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Sam's Broadcasting, AutoCast, and more? Women Who Rock with Success airs live each Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time, followed by our latest brand, Women Who Rock Investigates. We handpick professional women in many areas who can provide credible information in their field to build your business and lifestyle. To learn more about us, just visit our website at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com.
And good morning, and welcome to the show on today. And we have a special guest in the studio that's going to be talking to us about shipping logistics. And of course, we've been trying to get the guest on the show for a while, but the studio, as you know, have been down for a few weeks. So this would have fit very great for individuals around the holidays, but it's still an opportunity for 2021 for you to be able to jumpstart in your logistics for shipping and packaging. And so we're here today with our special guest on the show, and he's going to tell us a little bit about him, and he's none other than Catrell Kelly. And so good morning and welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, good morning. What's the deal? How's everything going?
Good morning. Everything is going great. So we're going to get started and let you talk to the audience and tell them a little bit about you, not the logistics. We're not going to get to that until the next question, but we want to learn a little bit about you as to how you got started in this and take us from there.
All right, so I'll just give you a quick high-level overview about myself. So I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I won't even say by nature, but it's just something that I'm real good at. I've been owning a few businesses since I want to say I was 20. Started off in the cleaner industry and it kind of just like moved over into transportation as years just passed by. Ultimately, my passion is music, so a lot of people may know me from a musician standpoint, but now I'm just into other things. And I love the transportation field, so that's why I'm here. And I just want to get more information about my services and some of the people that have been helping me along the way.
Okay, great. That's awesome. And as I stated before, logistics is the hottest thing that's going on right now, especially, around the holidays. And so this would be great information for our audiences to be able to get the information to your brand. So how did you get into the transportation and logistics business?
Well, it's I want to say that I always had this passion for space travel, so it kind of like transitioned into me being inside of transportation industry. The universe was just speaking to me. It was saying like, yo, man, if it's something that you're interested in, find other ways to get into it. So originally I was going to get my CDL, but that didn't work out right. So then someone introduced me into being a freight broker, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna do some research on that and see, where I could fit in. It kind of aligned up to what I was all about as far as business. I mean, freight brokering is really owning your own business, contacting shippers and building relationships with carriers, as well as starting from the ground up. Is certain things that you need to do to start a business. And just getting the proper insurances, the registrations, making sure that your business is properly set up. So I was like, all right, well, this is something I'm already in already. So basically, I could just duplicate the process of what I've been doing for other businesses and just kind of transition that over to freight brokering. So I got all the information I needed, and I started right there. So normally with a freight broker, you're pretty much the middleman between the shipper and the carrier, and you kind of connect the two. But when I was looking at the load boards, which is a marketplace for freight where people post their freight up, the shippers and the brokers, they post it up for the carrier so that way the carrier can pick it up and, make some money. And I was looking at it, I was like, well, I could do this myself. I could start driving some of these loads around and make some of this money. So from there, I was like, okay, let me figure this out. So I went on Facebook because on Facebook they have like a lot of different groups about a lot of different things in regards to credit, transportation, or whatever the case may be. So I joined the group, and it was like a wealth of information. I want to give a big shout out to Ariel Harmon. She's been a super support system, and for me getting started. I mean, she's a beast. Like, she's a marketing beast. She's a genius. A lot of people out there want you to pay a subscription to learn about the industry. They want you to pay them for consulting. But she was giving out all this free game, all this free information. So I joined the group on Facebook, which is called Box Truck Bosses and Transportation Gurus. So I was going through all this stuff, kind of piecing everything together. And then here I am. I said, okay, well, I could go and get my truck. I could go and get my authority from my truck, and I could just start running some of these loads myself. And Ariel, she's been great, man. She supported me throughout the way. She supported thousands of people in that group. And now we are trying to chase his bag. So that's like a high-level overview. I could go on and on and on about some of the stuff that we got going on. But, I mean, just to give you a quick brief, that's where we at with it.
That's great, because it can be challenging to be able to find someone that's willing to be able to help other entrepreneurs, especially us that has brown skin, African Americans, in certain business efforts and what have you. Sometimes it can be a challenge with our own brown color to be able to help one another, when it comes to be able to start in a business, and also giving them the tools and resources in order for them to jumpstart. So that is great that you are putting a pin on this entrepreneur for assisting you with that. So the name of your company is called Lightyear. So tell us a little bit how that came about and the reason why that you selected that name as a topic.
Okay, so I just love space. Period. I love space. I always get into these dreams about being on Mars, and just, is there any other type of beings up there somewhere in the universe? And like I said, I normally, the things that I'm interested in, I normally incorporate it to any business that I am in. So Lightyear has to deal with space travel. So, I decided to choose that for a name. And I got the branding done. I thought about it a long time. A lot of people call me the Black Elon Musk, because he's into space too. He got the SpaceX and all that stuff like that. And he shot one of his Tesla cars up in the air. So I said, okay, if he did that, then I'm going to shoot a cargo van, had the first cargo van on the moon, had the first cargo van on Mars. You know what I mean? So,
right. So
that's how I was thinking about it. But Lightyear is, and put it more in terms of business, at the we get your freight delivered at the speed of light, So basically, it's letting we get your packages, your freight, or whatever it is, we get it there quickly, safely, as possible,
Okay. So we're going to get a little bit more also into the company as to how it functions and operates, and what your services are and what you have to offer. So tell us a little bit about your services and what you do offer, especially as far as packages, sizes, weight, different things like that, and then other features that you have to offer to the audience.
All right. So remember I told you I started off as just doing the freight brokerage thing. So I have a freight brokerage, and this is the side where we more back office and helping other truck drivers and other cargo van drivers to secure freight. Also finding the trucks for the shippers. So we do the brokering side. It's more of a like I said, back office. But then I just opened up the Lightyear Express. And basically, just kind of like your FedEx or your UPS. So we have 3 different types of functions that we do in regards to delivering freight. So we got something called Lightyear Express Dedicated, and basically that's just a dedicated contract between the shipper and I, where I deliver, goods for them on a consistent basis whether it's, 400-mile radius or lower. We do it, back and forth. We deliver it, come back, pick it up, deliver it, and it's a dedicated thing. Then we have something that's called Lightyear Expedited, where a shipper needs to get his freight there, like, right away. And it's more of depending on the location, it's a 1 to 3 day ordeal. We might have freight to pick up in PA and got to get it to California, so we're looking at about 3 days roughly on that. So it's expedited freight, something very important that got to get to the from origin to destination. And then we have something called Lightyear Express same day, where we have same day deliveries, kind of like the Amazon. We're in a battle with them. So my goal is to we'll talk about that later, because I know that's something that is a build up. But we got a rival, man. These big companies, they out here doing their thing, and there's nothing against them, but there's always room for another service. I mean, everybody needs their packages. Everybody needs things delivered. Amazon can't be the only one out here with their trucks all over the place. We have a lot of Lightyear trucks around.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Finish.
So that pretty much wrapped up that question. But like I said, it's a rival, man. I'm really on them, and I'm letting them know I'm pulling up on them, and nothing going to stop the Lightyear flow, and we just going to get it. Let's just see, the best person wins. The best freight company wins. It's a battle. For sure.
That's great. So the next question is very important, because as you just got through mentioning about Amazon and UPS and FedEx, they have their shipping companies where they ship all over the world, all over the United States. And so tell us a little bit about your geographical areas as to who you serve, because it was a statement that you had made in regards to Amazon being everywhere or all over the place. They are, but the company that you have, Lightyear, can be also accessible for people in local geographical areas, and it can be able to be a support to them as well, even more conveniently. So, how many geographical areas do you service with your company?
Well, actually, we service the entire United States, including Canada. It's just really a business model that we got to perfect in regards to getting to everybody. So I want to give a big shout out to, I got another partner that actually is a part of Lightyear. His name is David Fitzgerald. He's been a business partner, friend, brother, mentor to me for a very, very long time, since college days. We always had big dreams about being successful, and we did a lot of business together. I had to throw that plug in there. But our geographical areas, we service the whole entire United States. We service Canada. But locally, we have 2 hubs. We got 2 main hubs that's coming out of Pennsylvania, and we have a hub coming out of North Carolina. And what we plan on doing is setting up a relay system, whereas though freight that we have in PA that needs to get there, let's say Florida, Texas, we'll drop it off, and we'll drop it off in North Carolina hub, and then another truck will switch trucks, and it'll take it along the rest of the way. Now, as far as service in every other state, what we'll do is, as time progresses, we'll add more drivers onto our team in other states or wherever they're at, because we could dispatch out work to drivers that want to, deliver freight on our behalf. So we're still building that out. We're not really looking to be like a dispatcher per se, but it's always good to grow with other people that got the same hunger and want to, build with you. And that pretty much be like a partnership or some type of strategic deal that we do with other companies that's around to actually get freight everywhere that we possibly can deliver.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, so when you say freight, what is consistent within that term as to what type of items, products, merchandise, and services that you ship with on your freight? So that can be able to give the audience a little bit more in detail as to what to expect if they contact you, they say, okay, Lightyear, we want you to be able to distribute this load or what have you, a freight from here to there. So what does that consist of as to what you ship and what's all consistent in that package?
We can ship pretty much anything that could fit inside of a car. Our main bread and butter would be the Sprinter vans, cargo vans. I'm not looking to own like a big fleet of 53-foot trailers. Not yet anyway, because I got a specific model that I'm trying to build. But anything that could pretty much fit inside the cargo van. So we say anywhere from 2 to 3 pilots, depending on what kind of cargo van, like the big Mercedes-Benz Sprinters or the Dodge Ram. The Ram trucks, the 2500 Pro Master could fit 1 to 3 pilots. Then we got a smaller cargo van that could probably fit 1 to 2. And as far as things that we deliver, it could be pretty much anything. I mean, I did everything from clothing to security products, paper, all the way to medicinal marijuana. One of our big clients is, I don't know if you're familiar with mace, the people that spray the mace. I mean, for protection, they got the mace in their pocket,
sure.
And if you want to, spray them in the eye type of thing. So that's like one of our big clients that we actually move freight from. So the ingredients for that, computer equipment, it's so much. It pretty much we could deliver anything. I'm trying to find what I really want to do. I'm trying to find that one niche that we can really deliver on. I haven't found that yet, and it's it's one of the things that have been really, I don't want to say bothering me, but been on my mind a lot. I try to find a need for an industry that hasn't been served in that portion of being able to get their product delivered or shipped to wherever they needed to get it shipped to. But however, I want to say next year, me and Ariel, we have a crazy business idea that we're looking to launch. We just making sure everything is set up properly as far as the legalities of transporting this product and all of that good stuff. So I don't really want to speak on that right now because we don't want nobody to get that idea. But I think we're gonna be billionaires real soon. But
okay, that's good. That's good. Being self-confident, self-reliant, and so in regards to, and of course, that's where some of our guests are. That and that's the reason why we try to tailor the questions around the audience, so the professional will not be giving away all of their goods, all of their details of their company. You know what I mean? Of course, it would help someone else, but still, that's something that an individual builds themselves, and of course, we don't want to be giving away all of the pearls that we have worked so hard for. So trust me, I do understand. So in regards to that, just doing a little research would help in that area as to finding, making the link connect as to how many people in a certain specific area that has has shipping needs and ones that don't. So that's just a little research that perhaps you can be able to tweak online yourself, and also you can be able to go on to some of the. I think Nielsen has a good tracking tool where they give you a lot of statistics as to where the demographics are, where they're lacking in some areas, because you'll be surprised at some of the areas and cities in the United States that do not have the things that you have to provide for them. It's just our job as business owners. We have to find that niche. We have to find that connection. We have to do some extensive research in order for us to be able to, but there are platforms online to be able to give you the certain demographics as to where, your audience will be in those areas that do not have access to Amazon. Everybody don't have access to Amazon. Everybody don't have access to UPS. Everybody does not have access to FedEx. You'll be surprised at what lack of connections that some cities do not have. So that'll be a strong point that you could. Yeah. So
That's what's up.
let's
That's
go
what's up. I
further
see you got some genius yourself.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. It seems like you got some genius in you yourself. That's what's up.
Yeah. It takes a while. It's sweat equity when you're trying to reach your audience, when you're trying to reach your target. But like I said, and perhaps after the show is over with, I can perhaps maybe send you some links or something like that you can be able to check with as to narrowing down your research as to figuring out where your people are, and it can be challenging to do that, to be able to find them. Social media is one, but you have to also, find out who's responding to you. If they're not responding to you, that's not your audience. That's not your target. If they're not talking back to you and you're publishing something there on social media sites and they're not responding back to you, those are not your people. That's not your target. They're not interested. You're just talking. You may, a lot of times people get confused. Well, I got, 20,000 followers. Okay, is anyone talking to you though? If you can have 20,000 followers, if it's only 5 people that's talking to me, the 5 is the one that's my target out of the 20,000. So people don't get that concept. They get caught up in the numbers as to how many people are following them and how many people they have in a group and things like that. That's not important. It's how many people are responding that is going to tell you actually where your audience and who's interested in your products and services. So we can be able to chat about that a little bit later on. I don't want to give them everything either. So how does it work when it comes to So how does that work when it comes to Lightyear? And that this is in regards to if I walk into your establishment today and I sit down and I say, well, look, I need this to be shipped and things. Take us through a few little steps as to what a consumer would expect if they're coming off the street looking for your services, as to what they would need to do, what they need to have. Is it, do they need to have photo IDs or something like that in order to be able to pack a deal with you in order for them to ship a product from one state to the next?
Well, it's real simple. You don't even got to walk in the office. We live in such a technological age right now, that kind of defeats everything as far as walking in, especially these times. I mean, everybody's COVID crazy, mask crazy, so the process is real simple. And a lot of these things happen over the phone or through the website or whatever the case may be, so we're making everything real simple. So what you could do right now, the build out is lightyearexpress.com. So you go to lightyearexpress.com and you enter in details like your company name, where your company located, what's the weight of the freight, how many pallets, what's the commodity, what exactly is it, and then from there we just build out a quote. And once we build out a quote, we send it back to our customer and say, hey, does this work for you? And from there, if they agree with it, then we move forward with the process. But it's very, very simple to get done. As far as the freight is concerned, it's not really a hard process. Now, when you're dealing with, it could be crazy when you're dealing with brokers, though. A lot of people go to this load board, and that's where a lot of negotiating happens. So, for instance, if I'm not getting my own customers that I'm getting, that I build on my own, then I got to go to the load board to get loads, to look for freight. Even though I'm a freight broker, sometimes I even go into the load board and grab something. But see, I know, since I'm a freight broker, I know a lot as far as bidding and what I should be getting and how much they possibly are getting off the load, because they do get a percentage. So that gives me more room to negotiate. But it could get tricky, because then you got to negotiate rates, and other drivers can make the rates go down. So it could get real complicated. But a simple way for a business or somebody that needs to get their stuff shipped, they just go right to lightyearexpress.com and they go in and fill out that quote form, and it'll be sent to one of my agents, and they'll go through it, build a quote out, and then send it right out right away. And we normally get that done within a couple hours to 24 hours, depending on the complexity of the request.
Absolutely. So here's another question. I think we perhaps maybe did discuss before the actual show started, and so in regards to that, because now you see a whole lot of tort claims being filed as to individuals damaging products and things like that. So how assured would the customer be? So what type of steps do you all take in regards to that, as far as them filling out a contract or what have you, making sure that their products and services arrive undamaged? Do you take photos and what have you before you be able to load the merchandise onto the vehicle and what have you? Do you take pictures and things like that? I guess I'm trying to give a little training class in that, because a lot of times we can have businesses and things, and if we're not careful, we don't have terms and conditions. We don't have terms and conditions on our website. We don't have disclaimers on our website and things. It can land us in a lot of hot water. I know when I first got started in business and things, somebody which came in and tried to tell me about the changing the name of the business, that theirs was the same. I said no, and I didn't even argue with them. I just didn't respond to them. You see what I'm saying? So, there are risks and pros and cons to everything that we do in life. And so I wanted to be able to get that out to the audience as well. So sometimes people may say, well, how do I know that, because sometimes there can be argumentative conversations that come up later. Oh, you broke this. Oh, no, I didn't break this. But, if we take the measures and the necessary steps to be able to, put things in writing and document everything, photograph everything. That's the biggest thing that's going on today in courtrooms is documentation and taking pictures. And so how do you ensure that the customer will make sure that they're, because accidents do happen. What do you have in place to ensure? Yeah, go ahead.
Right. That's such a great question. One of the main things we look at to give customers confidence before even using the insurance is, we got a cargo insurance and other insurances in place to make sure that if anything was to be damaged or stolen, which I hope that will never happen. I'll never go in with that negative attitude from a driver or anybody that works for me. But, things do happen. We already have the bonds and insurances for that. That's the first thing. That's the confidence that, hey, anything happen, we can get this paid for. Secondly, in the more of a process type of deal, like you said, we'll take pictures of the freight when we get there, video, everything, make sure everything is intact before we leave. If it's something that looks like it could be a questionable, we'll note that down, immediately send that over to the receiver of the product and let them know, hey, this is what this look like. We just letting you know, giving you a heads up. And as far as so that's how we remedy that. As far as verbiage and like the terms and conditions and stuff like that, I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm going to put this out here. I'm not a transportation expert yet. I haven't put in the time. I'm still fairly new, so I'm not an expert. So I don't know everything, but I do read a lot. I do reach out to people that's been in this field for a very, very long time and just kind of pick their brain on certain things that I could do to pretty much alleviate any type of stresses or small things like that. And they just give me the rundown. So that's some of the stuff that we normally do. I'm just starting to read a lot. I read a lot. I always read a lot, but now I read even more when it comes to contractual things, especially with transportation, because it could get so detailed depending on what it is. But that's a really great question. A lot of people don't understand how important that is just in the process of your customer and making sure things are intact. Make sure things are intact and all, you know what they say, CYA. You always want to do that, whether you're working for somebody or you're working for yourself,
Absolutely, and it's just a question that I brought out. It was a court case that I saw, and so somehow the defendant got away. Well, she thought she had got away with not paying the gentleman for all of the services that he had shipped for her, and so she thought that I gave it to you. I gave it to you, and so that's the reason why documentation is very, very important photographing is very, very important. And something else that could be great for a target audience is, and it may take a while for some of us and things like that. So, a lot of things that I've done when I first started, out working in a business, I started going to Facebook and started getting into the groups where the people need me. Because if a person don't need you, they're not going to, respond. They're not going to collaborate. They're not going to communicate. So in regards to shipping, I need to be somewhere where someone is interested in, they have an office where they have to be able to ship envelopes. They have to ship mail. They have to ship products. They order, computers, faxing machines and things like that. Sometimes we have to lower our standards. I mean, I've learned it, still learning it today, even with social media, as to how to make social media, work for me, in regards to that. And then I find out, exactly who am I catering to, because that's what I've learned, when I first got started out in things is branding. We got to find out, and then I, get out in the community and stuff and go to networking events that kind of help pull me a little bit too. And we're not, 25, 35, 45, 100,000 individuals that support us, but I've learned that if we humble ourselves and we start from the ground and then we get into these social media groups where you feel that the people will need your product, and that's the entire primary purpose of it, making sure that, someone need us. So everybody needs a shipping. Everybody do. Who don't need something shipped? You see what I'm saying? So you have a great asset as to what you're doing, and I applaud you for that, stepping out on something that some other individuals would drag their feet about. And so that's, kudos to you, okay? So what are some of the takeaways from your services that – yeah, you're welcome. What are some of the takeaways from your services that you offer? What is it that you want people to see about Lightyear? I know you talked about the space. You like more of atmospheric type of transitions and what have you and things. So what are some of the takeaways? What would you want a customer to see about you if they come to your website today?
All right. So basically, for one, I always say, deliver at the speed of light. I mean, you always want to get the delivery there on time. That could be real crucial to someone's life, whatever it may be, because time is money, and we all know that. But the main thing is safety. I really want to push safety hard, and I want to actually revamp a few things that caters to that safety feel, because that's so important. Now, the main takeaways is being cost effective. Now, when you shipping something on a 53-foot, it could become very costly. Now, what a lot of companies are doing, they're doing LTL, less than truckload, and getting things expedited in smaller vehicles, because sometimes you don't need the whole 53-foot trailer to move two pallets. They're just a waste of space. So it's very cost effective to get a smaller van with like a Sprinter and get your shipment in and save some money. We also have a professional team. We don't have no downtime. We always working. We always looking for the best rates to get that thing shipped as quickly as possible with the best service, because customer service is big. That's major. And communication is major, and we also want to promote that. Tailored solutions, tailored service is very big, because everybody is different. Freight comes in all shapes, sizes, detail, and all that stuff like that. So you could come to us. We're not going to give you the same exact quote as somebody else because of the weight and the size, because if somebody ships, let's just say somebody ships something that's flammable, for instance. Like I did a military load the other day, and we had to ship that, and we talking about explosives. So I had to tailor a quote around that, and of course somebody's, shipping out garments, and it could, you never know, it could weigh the same, but the commodity is different, so we got to tailor it out where it makes sense. So those are just some of the small takeaways. I mean, it's so many things we're trying to implement as far as technology-wise, where you can see exactly where your freight is at all times, all the pinpoint spots where the freight is at. If we stop the vehicle, you'll see that. You know, it's always clear. What I want to say, what's the transparency that we want to show in regards to someone's product.
Okay, great. That's great. Okay, and so we're just running out just a little bit more time, and so I guess I got one more question for you, and so what would you like to leave with the listeners for the show on today? And so in regards to if you know, okay, we got 2021 that's coming up, and even though Christmas is over with, people are still going to be shipping like wild because Super Bowl is coming up, okay? I don't know if it's going to be in person, but it's coming up. So what would you like to leave with the listeners in regards to your products and services?
Before I do that, I just want to give a quick shout-out just to a few people. I mean, you know, even though I'm part of a group and all of us got the same service, I always try to help somebody else out. You know, whether we're competition or not, I think it's a friendly thing to do. So for one, like I said, I want to give a big shout out to Ariel, man. A lot of this stuff really wouldn't be possible without her because she gave so much information to help start it. She got Harmony Transportation, and her and her husband is doing big things, man, and I'm very proud of what they got going on. Also, I want to give a big shout-out to Straight Shot Logistics, LLC. They're definitely they do dispatching for over-the-road freight, and she's done great, wonderful work for a lot of people who need work. You know, there's a lot of drivers out there that need work, and she'll dispatch them out and get them some business. And it's so many people I can name, but I'm just going to throw those two out there, man. I left in the Facebook. I said, listen, anybody want a shout-out, let me know. But, you know, it's kind of late now. But other than that, man, going into the 2021, like I said, when we got those services I spoke on, the whole Lightyear Express thing happening right now. So if you want to get that service, you know, you go to Lightyear Express. .com, and if you need a freight broker, you know, you just go to lightyeartransport.com. I know I ain't talked too much about that, but I really want to get away from that freight broker stuff because it's cutthroat. It's very cutthroat, and then you almost really want to jump through the phone on somebody sometimes, man. You know, but other than that, you know, that's what we rocking with, man. We got a lot of big things happening. Shout out to David Fitzgerald, man, for opening up the Charlotte, North Carolina, the hub down there, and we just gonna make big moves, man. It's just a lot of great things happening.
Okay, great. Okay, and the last but not least, how can the listeners connect with you? I know that you shared the link. You can be able to share that again. Also, any long-term perspectives that you have that you would like the audience to be able to stay connected with you in regards to, any social media platforms that you are connected to, you can be able to share that at this time.
All right, great. You can follow me on Instagram, Genius of Kelly. So there's Genius of Kelly. Lightyear Express again, lightyearexpress.com. I'm on Twitter and all that stuff like that. Lightyear Logistics. We also on Facebook. If you just search that, you'll find us. You know. But other than that, you know, the group definitely. You know, keep in touch with us on the group. So I'm always active on that group, and the group is called Box Truck Bosses and Transportation Gurus. So you look my name up in there, we in there. You look Ariel name up on there, she in there. And we always provide good information to help everybody else out, and then also promote what we have going on too as well.
Okay, great. So, Mr. Kelly, we thank you so much for taking the opportunity to be our guest on the show on today, and we're going to invite you back on. We're going to invite you back on. I think you have a real great strategy as to how you want to be able to deliver products and services to customers around the U.S. You know, and of course it takes time for us to get things together, and it takes sweat equity as well. And what I mean by sweat equity and things, if we don't sweat for anything that we do, then we won't have anything to testify in regards to. So I applaud you for what you're doing, and thank you so much again for being our guest. So for the listeners, for all upcoming events and who's going to be next on our show, you can go to our website, of course, at www.womenwhorockwithsuccess.com. Have a great day. Thank you so much again, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you. You have a good one. Appreciate it. And Merry Christmas, too.
Merry Christmas to you.